Hi guys, as we watch the sun just go down and we go inside to avoid the monsters, this is going to be our video on theme A. The first of the themes we'll go through for the second RE exam. The first RE exam was today. I thought it was a relatively fair paper. There was nothing on there that I hated. I didn't think the exam board were too tricksy. There was a couple that phrased maybe a bit awkwardly. The mercy of Allah, thought maybe slightly unkindly phrased. On the 4-mark question on Islamic beliefs, but not terrible. Baptism question, we nailed that. Very pleased that we went for that one. Imam Mate, only a 2-mark question, but absolutely fine. Eid versus Eid is a question. Difficult. I didn't think that was the simplest comparing the festivals, but you know, at least everyone could have a go at it. I thought that was relatively fine. Muhammad is the most important. The Muhammad Prophet question I thought was good, and I thought hopefully we went through that enough. So this is going to be a theme A revision section. Okay, so the second exam is your themes paper. Those are the different themes that you have to talk about in theme A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, each school only does hello flaming zombie. Oh, lots of flaming zombies. Not zombies. My class told me what these are. They're skeletons, even though they don't look like skeletons. And they told me today, oh, so they are buried in the snow up to their waist. Interesting. My class told me that could happen. They told me to kill them and get their bones because at some point we're going to need to grow bone meal. And that grows plants. And my class were giving me advice on how to survive better. But we need some more wood. And they told me to replant the trees. They were all very cross at me for not replanting the trees. I got massively told off. And if I get the little trees and I plant them, say, here, eventually they'll grow into big trees and I won't have to go so far to get the trees. My class were really telling me off. So there are 6 themes on the paper, but don't forget your school will only tell you to do 4 themes. We'll only have taught you 4 themes. That's one of the little trees. Oh look, lots of little trees. Oh, this is what I need to pick up. And sticks as well. Excellent. Little trees. Little tree? Yeah, little tree. Excellent. Little tree. And we need some more wood. Little tree? No. So whatever exam board your school said you were doing, that is the sorry, one exam board. Whatever themes your school said you're doing, those are the ones you should do, even if they're not the ones I'm going to revise here straight away. Okay, I'm going to do the ones that my school are doing first because obviously that's what I'm doing these videos for, to help my students. I will try and make videos on the other themes because that's a polite thing to do, and I like to be polite. Oh, sheep. If I'm going to make another bed, I need a sheep, my class told me. But I don't like to kill the sheep. They did tell me I can make something to get the wool. I cannot remember what they said. Okay, oh look, I found carrots. I had a run around. I found one in a hole. And then if you go that direction, there's more villagers. And they had carrots growing. So I took some of their carrots. Not all their carrots, because I didn't want them to starve. So I'm going to go through the different themes in order. Okay, theme... oh yeah, you wait to see what I've done to the church. It's got a roof now. Look, I'm really pleased. Okay, so theme A is relationships. Okay, I think relationships is a really nice topic. I think all schools should probably be hitting relationships. But I don't think there's anything that challenging in there. And I say that with all the confidence that suddenly this year they're going to make the questions really challenging. Yeah, this seems like a nicely spread out selection of trees. I don't know how far apart you have to have them. Maybe they need more space than that. Can I put any higher up? Let's put some right on the top. Oh, maybe I need to dig out... Yeah. Plant the tree? I wonder if that'll work. Plant the tree? There we go. So, theme A is relationships. And obviously they could suddenly make it really, really difficult. Look, the church has got a roof on it now. We're going to go inside and write down our signs. I didn't make my new signs. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've done all sorts. I'm really proud. So we just do key terms today for the topic. We'll do key terms and then go into some detail on some of those key terms. Look, I made it much bigger and I made it a bit more like an actual church. I don't know how to move that down there. I was hoping it would fall down. It didn't. So I think I'm going to have to destroy it and make it fall down. But that's where I was making things. I found a poisonous potato. I don't know. I might try and poison someone with it. Right, so what did I get this for signs? We're making signs. Yeah, 6 more signs. I think I'm going to have a lot more than 6 actually, so I probably need more spruce wood planks. Is that enough for more signs? Yeah, maybe that would be enough signs. What do I need to make more signs? Signs. Blocks. blocks, and I don't think I've got enough to make more blocks. That's fine. That should be enough signs. So look at my big church now. I think I'm going to use this space over here for theme A, and that's going to be reasonable. And I'm just, I might need to build like a little set of steps so I can put all my signs up. Right. And that. Okay, that looks fine. And I can destroy them at the end. And then we'll have all the signs. Right, first key term, okay, is chastity. Chastity. So, chastity is a key term in theme A, and all it means is to be sexually pure, to not have sex at all, or if you're not in a relationship. Or some people would say chastity as only having sex with your partner who you're married to. But I think for most people, when they're talking about chastity, they're talking about being pure sexually and avoiding the act of sex. So in the relationship section, that's very important. All religions preach in some way that chastity before marriage is important, that you should not be having relationships with people before you are married, because marriage is so important for Christians and Muslims and most other religions. Okay, so chastity, being chaste. So you believe in chastity and you are chaste. Okay, so someone believes in chastity and then they are chaste themselves. Okay, first key term. So most of them in alphabetical order, but I've just realised I got those two confused because I'm stupid. Oh, I've put caps lock on. Adultery. Okay, adultery is cheating on your partner, but your married partner particularly. Okay, if you're married and you have relationships with someone else, that is called adultery. It is strictly forbidden in the Bible. Okay, strictly forbidden in Islam as well. It's a point where in the Bible it's one of the 10 Commandments: "Thou shalt not kill." You're right, Rosa. Yeah, good kill. You fretting? You're okay. It was raining earlier, and the nailed rain on this. On our windows made us panic. You're okay though, Professor. So adultery is forbidden in the Bible and the 10 Commandments. In the Quran, in many places, it's serious enough that a person can be punished with death for it. There are many countries still where if you commit adultery, you can be put to death. Okay? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely fine. Where did my signs go? There. Okay, so next words. Now this is a tricky one. Cohabitation. Okay, cohabitation. This is when people live together without being married or in a civil partnership. So, if a boyfriend and girlfriend decide to move in together, they are I do this all the time. I want to look back at the sign, but I can't. That's not how the game works. If you cohabit, that means you're going to live together before you're married. In this country, most couples cohabit before they get married. They want to live together before they get married, okay? Why would they want to live together before they get married? It's a good question. One reason, they want to get to know each other beforehand because that's going to make them less likely to get a divorce later. That's a sensible sort of suggestion. Why else would they want to cohabit? It's a financial way of sharing the finances of their relationship. They might think that marriage is no longer necessary as so many people get divorced. Why get married in the first place? Many people cohabit because they just see a marriage as a piece of paper and it doesn't actually increase their commitment. So they'd rather just cohabit and live together. With the rising cost of living, cohabitation is the only way some couples can afford to move in to carry on living together, is to cohabit. So there's lots of reasons people cohabit. Why are religious people against cohabitation? Well, don't forget, religious people say, look, you must be chaste and you shouldn't be having any of that, physical relationships before marriage, and cohabitation will lead to that. You don't live together before you get married because you'll be tempted by the other person in a physical sense. They're like, no to cohabitation. They say you should get married first, and if you're not ready to get married, you should get to know that person first better before you live with them. So most religious people are against cohabitation. Now, obviously, some religious people are in favour of it and are less worried about it, but generally speaking, you're going to say, cohabitation is bad for most religious people, even though actually in real life, if you ask religious people, I expect in this country particularly, most Christians wouldn't have a great problem with it, but for the purpose of the exam, you can just cause a big distinction and go, no, Christians are generally against cohabitation, because worldwide I expect that's more likely to be true. Now, here's one. Contraception, okay? Contraception, okay? Why is it so dark in here? Oh yeah, I've got these torches. Can I put them on the ceiling? No, I'll put one there. That's better. I can mark off this area for for our theme A. Neatness, important. I now thought maybe all these words won't fit in here. We'll work it out. So, Contraception is precautions that you can take to prevent pregnancy and against contracting or transmitting STDs during the act of physical relations with your partner, sexual relationships. So contraception, that can be something that's a barrier method, an artificial, like a condom. It can be something that's a hormonal method that we'd call something as simple as the pill, which is the female contraceptive pill, but the exam board will accept you just calling it the pill. It can be something that's more a preventative measure, a more emergency measure, like the morning after pill. It can be something that's a more natural method, like the withdrawal method or the rhythm method, which you should have learnt about in class. And when we go into more detail, we can do about these sort of ideas. So contraception is something that stops someone getting pregnant during physical relationships. Why is that an RE topic, you might be thinking? What's that got to do with religion? Oh, that's one of my hairs on my arm. And that is a pure white or grey hair. I mean, yeah, so the child who today at work just came up to me and called me Mr. Grey. That is why, because my hair is going incredibly grey. It's your fault, children, that my hair is going so grey, but that's fine. I'm getting old and I must accept that. I'm going to dye it. So contraception, why is it a religious issue? Well, Catholics in particular are massively against contraception. They believe that it is going against God's will in some way to artificially change how sexual relationships work. That they believe that a man or woman should be trying to have a child when they're engaged physically, and contraception is an unnatural way of stopping that. So they are against artificial forms of contraception. Sorry, I should be very clear. Catholics against artificial forms of contraception. Okay, they believe that we should be trying to procreate, to have sex, to have children. Okay. The Church of England are not against contraception because they believe that a couple should be able to choose how many children they have and be able to avoid disease, because disease is bad. For example, AIDS would be considered bad because it can kill people, and God loves us all, so why would he want us to suffer? And God wants us all to raise our children well, so why would he want children who don't have parents who want them? So Church of England would be more in favour of contraception. Islam, I mean, the view on contraception in Islam is complicated because obviously it's not directly mentioned in the Quran, because the sort of contraception we have now didn't exist when the Quran was written. So Muslims have different views in different places. What you can really say in the exam is most Muslims are not against forms of contraception once the couple are married and they've already had children. It's part of a Muslim's duty to have children, and so they would expect you to have children first, but once you've had children, many Muslims would believe that it's okay to use contraception then to control the number of children that you have. Okay, they'll be like, right, now you can control the number of children you have, so you're not having too many. But they would they would probably only recommend those methods that don't change how the body works. By that I mean they'd be more in favour of something like the condom or a barrier method rather than something like the pill, which changes how the human body works, because it changes hormone levels. Now, big topic now, divorce, okay? Divorce. Can I make my little platform go over there so I can look at these better? Yes, I can. That's perfect. I'm so good at this game. I'm like an actual genius. I'm not, but I'm really enjoying getting better at this. Divorce is the legal ending of a marriage, okay? So it's not the same as a couple breaking up. It's not the same as a couple breaking up. When a couple break up or separate, their marriage hasn't legally ended. Oh, why is my game paused? I just got distracted. I probably wasn't looking. So a girlfriend and boyfriend cannot get a divorce. They don't need to get a divorce. They're not legally joined, so they can't legally split up. A divorce is the legal ending of a marriage. Absolutely great. What's the big religious deal with it? Well, this one splits beautifully for Christianity. And if there was a 12-mark or a 5-mark question about divorce, I would probably focus primarily on Christianity on this question, okay? Church of England are generally, they're all against divorce, but Church of England allow divorce if it is for a right reason and that you've tried reconciliation from the last exam, you've tried to get back together. The Church of England will allow divorce because God is all loving, he wants us to be happy, that you have free will, you should be with someone who you love, but that divorce is acceptable as long as it's a last resort, okay? Because God wants you to be happy, and that a marriage that isn't happy should not have to occur. For example, if one of the couple have broken their vows, for example, the promises you make to God, or broken the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not commit adultery, then shouldn't a divorce be allowed? Because if you're saying, oh, divorce is wrong because it goes against the Bible, well, what if that person's already broken the rules of the relationship? Then surely we can get divorced then. Catholics, on the other hand, have a much stricter rule about divorce, or general rules about divorce. That generally speaking, for most Catholics, divorce is considered wrong, morally wrong, because, and this is one of my favourite quotes, what God has joined together, let no man pull apart. Okay, God has joined you together. You got married and God joined you. You even stood in a church for most Christians and you promised not to split up with that person. You said, till death us do part. Okay, you said, I'm going to stay with this person till I die. And if you get divorced, you're going against that against that promise, and you're going against a Bible quote. Okay. What God has joined together, let no man pull apart. The till death do us do part isn't in the Bible. You could use it as a source of authority because you can say it's one of the Christian vows, one of the Christian marriage vows, but don't forget it does not count as one of the, it doesn't count as a Bible quote. Can I put more? Oh, I can't put more torches down there. Just much nicer and brighter over there. Okay, so divorce, okay. Now this is an interesting one. Extended family. So, it seems more like a sociology term, but extended family is your extended family. Most of you will be aware of this term. The family unit comprising two parents and their children, but also grandparents, cousins and stuff like that. So your extended family, those people who are in your family. Now, where would that come up as a question? I can't imagine a question directly asked about extended family because I can't really work out what they could say about it. Like, I can't see what a 12 marker could be about it. I will try and search them up when we do 12 markers to see if I could possibly guess at one. But extended family can be used in some nature of the families, okay? There's questions about the nature of the family, and you can mention extended family in there. They also might drop in extended families in a 1 mark or a 2 mark question. That is where I see that word more, that phrase more likely to come up. The idea that they might see in the 1 mark question, which one of these describes a family, including the cousins, grandparents, stuff like that, and it'll be like extended family, reconstituted family, nuclear family, family planning, and you'll be like, oh, that's extended family. Or it might be, which one of these does not describe a type of family? Nuclear family, extended family, reconstituted family, family planning, and that's family planning because family planning is one we're going to do next. And family planning is planning, controlling how big a family you want by the use of birth control and practices, or contraception, okay? So family planning is planning how many children you have. Some religious people would suggest that you should take part in family planning because then you can have a family that is of a correct size, and like a size that you can look after, not a correct size, but a size that you can look after. By limiting the number of children, you may do a better job as a parent and be able to spend more time and love with your children. I'm just so proud of my big room. This isn't a very churchy room yet. I need to build sort of a section there and a section there and a section at the back because churches are cross-shaped. So I need to make that bit bigger and that bit bigger and that bit bigger. But I think I'm going to make them sort of like smaller rooms and include that little river pond at the back as my font. I have plans. So family planning is planning how big a family you have. Some Christians and religious people would say that you should plan to have a big family because of church growth, to grow the church, okay? Absolutely fine. Family planning could turn up as a 12-mark question. And the thing I would expect you to start talking about most in the family planning question would be contraception, okay? Family planning is often just a gateway term the exam board are using to let you talk about contraception, okay? In the same way, in the in the exam you just did, church growth was a nice way for you to talk about evangelism. Family planning is a nice way for you to talk about contraception. So they'll drop in family planning, and technically you can talk about lots of different things, but the easiest topic to talk about is normally contraception. So you'll see family planning, you'll think contraception, okay? How do you plan to have a family? Well, most people use contraception. Do I start using contraception or not? Well, then I'm planning how big my family is going to be, okay? Extended family, family planning, what's my next one? Gender discrimination, okay? Gender, this helps I can write, discrimination, okay? This is the prejudices we have against people and acting on them based on because of their gender, okay? So you got, I've done it again. You're infuriating. You are a very stupid man, okay? So I just realised I can't write the thing. Right. So you have stereotype, prejudice, and discrimination. Okay, these are three terms that people don't realise the slight differences between them. A stereotype is an assumption made about a group of people. For example, people with glasses are good at maths. Not a very common stereotype, but one that's easy to talk about because I'm not hopefully going to offend anyone with that. Okay, so that's a stereotype. A prejudice is a thought about an individual or group because of maybe a stereotype or because of some sort of treatment by them. So if I see then a group of people with glasses on, I go, oh, look at those maths nerds. That is prejudice. And discrimination is when I act on that prejudice. So prejudice, prejudge, is when I judge them, but that's in my head. Prejudice is a thought. Discrimination is the action. Okay, so when the class arrive when my students arrive and I've got some math questions to do, I give them all to the kids with glasses. That is discrimination. I've picked them out because of something I've decided about them. Okay, I've because of the fact I've decided on them. So, for example, if you wanted to mix it with gender, you'd say a gender stereotype would be, I don't know, men shouldn't cook and be in the kitchen. Okay. And I love being in the kitchen and cooking, so that would be against mine. My prejudice would be I work in a school and I see all the people coming into DT and I assume none of the boys will want to do cooking, and my discrimination is I don't let any of the boys take the cookery class because I don't think they want to, because I'm prejudiced. Okay, that would be an example of those words and how they all work together. So prejudice is a thought. Ow. No, I didn't hurt myself. Excellent. Prejudice is a thought. Discrimination is an action. Okay, prejudice is a thought. You think a prejudiced thought, and then you do a discriminatory action. Okay, right. And so gender discrimination goes along with gender equality. Okay, this is the idea that genders have equal status and value. So discrimination is wrong. So if you believe in gender equality, then you are against gender discrimination. Okay, if you believe that both genders, all genders are equal, then you believe that gender discrimination is wrong. Okay. Now, the exam board is mainly going to focus on this in a traditional Christian sense. So, you know, that's the sort of ideas you're going to talk about it. And then they could ask you about gender prejudice as well. And you can say the same thing, okay? Feelings. So gender prejudice is a sexist thought. Gender discrimination is a sexist action, okay? So I have a sexist thought, it's prejudice. I have a sexist action, it's discrimination. I have gender equality, I'm treating people equally, okay? I'm putting these in alphabetical order, but you can see it's annoying that I didn't put them on the same line. I wish I had now. Okay, another term that might come up, and I hope at your age you would know how these terms work. Heterosexuality. Helps if I can spell. Heterosexuality, being attracted to someone of the opposite gender. Okay, heterosexuality. Okay, most religions promote heterosexuality. That's just the facts of it. Okay, and then not a Z in there. Sexuality. Okay, and most religions discriminate against homosexuality, or at least prejudice against homosexuality. That doesn't mean there aren't religious people who promote homosexuality or don't discriminate against it. I'm just saying, in the whole, that is the sort of, not even a stereotype, that is the most common sort of feeling amongst religious people across the world, even though we might not experience that so much in England. Right, I need the snowballs back. Right, thank you. I should be able to oh no. Oh, dug up my floor. I'm so proud of my floor. Look at that. All so smooth. I wish I could ice skate. No, I can't ice skate. Oh, look how neat I'm making it now. Oh, I'm really pleased. I'm now getting to grips with all this stuff. What else we got? We've got nuclear family, okay? The nuclear family is the super traditional family unit, and that is the nuclear family unit, one that is not been sort of broken up. So two parents and their children, okay, or their child or children. In a super traditional sense, it would often be two children, but nuclear family is just the two parents and their children, okay? Why is it called a nuclear family? Nothing to do with nuclear power, it's about the nucleus. The idea that this family was at the centre of society, that those family units could not be broken up because they're at the centre of society. We should have these nuclear families. Many Christians and Muslims promote the nuclear family as a traditional family structure as being the strongest way to raise children and to have good family life, okay? A nuclear family. Now this one confuses people. Polygamy. Okay, I always get the spelling of that one wrong. I want to put the G somewhere else. It's not where the G goes. Polygamy, or sometimes just simply referred, sometimes bigamy. Okay, Polygamy, okay, gamy, G-A-M-Y, is to marry people, okay. Monogamy, okay. Monogamy means to marry one person. They will not ask you about that directly in the exam, but monogamy is one person, mono, one. Bigamy is to marry two people, bi, okay, as in bicycle. And polygamy is many people. So polygamy is marrying many people. That could be 2, that could be 4, that could be 15. I believe there are people around the world who have like up to 20 partners that they are married to. There's a man, I think it's in Yemen, who has 100 children by 20 women, okay? That is a lot of children. I struggle to remember the students' names sometimes, and that's like hundreds, so maybe he gets all his kids confused and gets in trouble for calling the wrong names. I don't know. I know I would. But that's polygamy, having multiple wives, okay? Forbidden in Christianity, allowed in Islam. So you can talk about quite a lot of detail. In Christianity, God made Adam and Eve for each other, so Christians believe that one man was made for one woman. In Islam, during the sort of fighting during the War of the Trench, which is a big sort of time of Muslim conflict, men were often recommended to take multiple wives so they could look after the families of fallen soldiers, as seen as an act of sort of generosity and charity to look after those wives whose husbands had died. So you might be on the front lines, and a friend of yours might die in the battle, and you'd be like, right, I'm going to marry his wife, not in some sort of, yeah, I've always fancied his wife kind of way, in a sort of, oh, if I marry his wife, I can look after her, because don't forget we're talking 1,500 years ago, and a woman wouldn't necessarily have the same rights to be able to go out and work and do stuff like that. See, it's so much easier now. I don't even know if it's day or night. Look, it's daytime. Ah, Bear's here. Hey, Bear. Is that your baby with you? Oh, that's a rabbit with you. Are we doing okay, Bear? Mwah. Love you, mate. Okay. Are they some of my new trees that grew? Oh, no. I planted those trees, though, and they've already grown. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, I'm having such a nice time. Oh. My year 7 today were describing to me how I can make stained glass windows. They say I need sand. Now, I don't know where I'm going to find sand, but eventually I do want to put a big stained glass window up here. I don't know how that's going to work. Or at least a window. They did describe to me how I can make glass. And I did accidentally make ice at some point. I have no idea how I did that. I made an ice cube. But I don't know how to do that again. So I wouldn't mind, maybe big ice windows? Would look pretty cool. But anyway, that's for a later date. Okay, so polygamy or bigamy? What are my other words? Oh, yeah. Oh, where have I put? Yeah. Oh, you stupid man. Smash that. Right. Science. Okay. Procreation. Okay. So, procreation is having a child, okay? And sexual relationships to have a child, okay? They are procreating, they are having children. They are creating new life. In many religions, it's seen as a duty, okay? Islam, in particular, is definitely a duty. Half of your life's duty is done if you were to raise a child the correct way, okay? Have a child and raise it correctly. That's half your life's duty done. Christians also see having a family as part of their duty often because they want to grow the church and they want to follow the traditions of the Bible and have children, okay? Remarriage, okay? Remarriage. This is the idea that you are married for a second time after divorce ends an earlier marriage. This is because some religious people are dead against remarriage. Even if you've been able to get divorced, they would say that remarriage itself is even more wrong because, okay, you broke some of the rules when you divorced, but remarrying is suggesting you're going completely against those promises. And to the extent where some Catholics don't believe that you should be able to enter a church and take part in the communion if you have remarried, okay? So some religious people take that very seriously. And vows. Vows are the promises that you make during a marriage ceremony, okay? Obviously, different religions have different forms of vows. Often when we think of them, we're thinking of the Christian vows that people say to each other. But Muslims also have promises they make during their wedding. They are normally written vows rather than spoken vows. So most religions have vows. If you focus just on the Christian ones, that is absolutely fine for this exam. Because don't forget, for this exam, you are you're allowed to talk about whatever religions you like. Okay, as long as you're talking about religions, you're fine. Now, I expect most schools are teaching these things based mostly around Christianity, okay? And that is absolutely fine, okay? If you can do it around Christianity, that is absolutely fine. And I don't have any problem with that. But obviously you can drop in other religions as well. So there's no stress about that. So I expect most of the time we will probably focus on the Christian views on these, okay? Now, we're not going to go into too much detail on the actual topics that will probably come up as questions, okay? But let me do just a quick overview, because this video will be a bit shorter, and we'll do some practice questions, stuff like that tomorrow, and in some more detail, okay? So, the big questions that come up, and then what do I think will come up, and we'll quickly do. Oh, have I gone too far? I've gone too far on my list. Sorry, I probably went dark there. Okay, I would be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of question on sex before marriage, or sex outside of marriage, okay? Sex before marriage or outside of marriage. By outside of marriage, I mean adultery, cheating on your partner, okay? I'd expect that to be a topic. And we'll go over quotes and details for that one tomorrow and maybe do a practice question on it, okay? I would expect there to be a question about, in some form, homosexual relationships. Now, that might be a question about should homosexual relationships be accepted? It could be about should homosexual people be allowed to get married, or it could be should homosexual people be allowed to be parents. Each of those questions could come up in some form. That could be a 12 marker, and what they might do is it could be any of those words, so you'd have to read carefully, because if it says homosexual parenting is always wrong or something like that for the 12 marker, you don't just see the word homosexuality and just do the standard arguments against homosexuality, because you would have to make sure you're mentioning it's parenting in that one. It's just a little thing they might do to be a pain, and you'd be like, oh, I just got that one wrong. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of question on contraception. These can't all come up though, but I think these are the ones that I think might come up, okay? So contraception, I think, could come up. Some sort of question on marriage or cohabitation. I could see that happening as well. That would be one that I could really see happening. Okay, I could definitely see one on divorce as well. And then finally, oh yeah, I've forgotten one I put on there. The nature of families or role of parents. Okay. So nature, family, role of parents. Oh no, I need one more sign. I might have to take one of these ones down. They're all messy anyway. Which is the worst one of these? In my opinion. Oh no, that's quite useful because that's the full structure. I might come back to that tomorrow. Yeah, we don't need about Jesus forgiving anymore because we're not going to do those questions today. Okay. We can slowly make this place look neater and more insane. So nature of family, role of parents, and the final one, I wouldn't be surprised if there was questions about equality, okay? So, some of you might have spotted, there's 7 topics in there, okay? There's 7 topics in there, and there's only going to be 5 questions. The exam board haven't cut out anything for themes, okay? All of these things could still come up. So, all the themes questions could come up. That is a pickle, okay? We don't like the sound of that, because if all the themes questions could come up, then that is a pain, but they don't want to take anything out of it. So, I mean, I don't know how to demarcate that it's these bottom 7, okay? So you're going to have to be ready for a question about sex before marriage, homosexual relationships, contraception, equality, divorce, marriage or cohabitation, the nature of families, the role of parents. Those are the big topics that I think could come up. There's nothing up here that I think, I mean, because even something like that I didn't love the thought of, like, where was it? Extended families. Where's extended families? Extended family, which I don't think would make a very good 12 mark, 4 mark, or 5 mark question. I think it's more likely to come under the terms role of the family or role of parents, okay? So I think that's where you drop extended family in, okay? So those are topics we'll go over, and tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'll probably put these terms up on this wall here, and we'll do a quote to go with them, and we'll try and do an in favour or against argument for each of them. Maybe do like the start of a 12 mark question for each of them, okay? I'll go out and I'll get some more ink to make another book, and we can do sort of not a full 12 mark question, but just a couple of paragraphs. So at least we can start a 12 mark question on each of them, because I don't think we'd have time to do a 12 mark question on all of these issues. So just maybe the basic arguments, okay? So I hope that's been useful for this one. I've made this one a little bit shorter because a lot of you watch it on the same night, which is insane, and you did your exam today, and so don't watch too many of these. Get ready for your next exam. I hope your other exams go really well. I think it's at my school, what is it tomorrow? Science, biology tomorrow. So good luck for biology tomorrow, and if it's not biology tomorrow, you're doing another exam. Good luck for whatever exams you have, and especially good luck for RE next Thursday. So let's start preparing for that one.